Hello everyone, welcome back to Trendy Education. So in this video, I'm going to explain you what is waterfall model in software engineering. If you are new to my channel, I request you to subscribe to my channel because I used to post many computer science based and videos, theory as well as the practical videos. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, let me tell you what is life cycle model. So in software developing, there are many life cycle models. Like we'll be having waterfall models, agile modeling, and spiral modeling, and so on, prototype modeling. So there are many models, but here I'm going to explain you what is waterfall model, and I'll give you a simple explanation before getting into the video. Let's take an application. Okay. This is not a software. Let's take a simple mobile applications that you probably know is WhatsApp, right? So let's take WhatsApp. And to build WhatsApp, what are the requirements I need, and what are the software I need, and what are the things I need to develop that WhatsApp. So this is what I'm going to explain in this video using this waterfall model. Okay, and let's move on to the software SDLC cycle. So as we know, there are many stages in the software developing, right? Very first stage is the requirement gathering and specification. So this is the very first step, and which is followed by the planning phase, designing phase, implementation, coding, testing, maintenance, operations, deployment, and there are many stages which we call it as phases, and these are the SDLC phases. Okay, let me write everything. Wait. Everything now. So these are the phases in SDLC. So here from okay, now let me explain you what is waterfall model and what are the when we use waterfall models and the advantages and disadvantages of it. Now coming to the waterfall model. So waterfall model is one of the traditional model which people are using to develop software. Okay, so this is one of the traditional technique or traditional method, whatever we say. And here these phases like requirement gathering, all these phases are moving straight forward, like it will move in a linear way. So that's why we call it as linear sequential model. So it is also called as linear sequential model. Here the main attribute, the main characteristics of the waterfall model is it includes a set of phases. Okay, so what are the phases include are requirement gathering, and this is the first phase, and followed by the other phases, other consequent phases. So let me tell you what's the difference between other models and this waterfall model, because every model consists of this set of phases, right? So the main difference here is it will move in a straight way. Apart from that, there is something different. When the first phase finish, the second phase will start using the output of the first phase. So this is what the main target of the waterfall model. When the first phase complete, it will give some output to the second phase. When the first phase, that is the requirement gathering and specification phase is complete, what people will do is they will verify and validate, and then they will create one document after each phase. So this is one of the major characteristics of this waterfall model. After this each phase, so this is one of the major characteristics. Once this phase is finished, they will validate and verify the data, that is the whatever they did, they will verify and validate it, and then they create a document, and then they simply submit it to the design team. Again this design team will do something, and they'll verify and validate, and then create one document. After that they'll submit to the implementation team. So that's what they'll be doing in waterfall model. So let me explain you the waterfall model using the model diagram. As I said, requirement gathering and specification is the first stage, and here what people will do is some people okay, one team called as business analyst. So what they'll do is they'll attract the client, and they'll have some meeting with the client and they'll gather the requirements from the client. Okay, so client is nothing but the person who is not in the team, not in the organization. Let's say I'm going to order something, but is there any relationship between me and that organization? No, I'm just a customer and I'm going to order something. So that's the relationship between the client and the organization. So let me tell you requirement gathering. So for WhatsApp, what are the requirements they'll need? Will tell that they want chat module, and they also tell I want call options to video calling and voice call, and I want features like statuses, and I want to hide my status from some people, and I want to hide my online like last seen and all. So I want to hide those features and all, and these all the features I need. So this is what the client will tell to the business analyst, and this business analyst, what he will do is, he or she will do is, they'll just gather all the informations from the client and they'll file it, and and the name of the file is called as SRS document. This is the SRS document they'll create once they finish the requirement gathering. So what is specifications? So specification in the sense, what are the specifications they need, like functional and performance requirement. What are the functional requirements they need, and what are the performance requirement they need? In that SRS document, what all it includes: input and the output format. What are the input and then output format? Like in mobile number, we have to give only the number, right? So these are the input format. Like that, they'll having some codes, and also the factors which actually affects that those modules. Also the function and the performance requirements. These are the three things that the SRS document will have. And coming to the next, that is the requirement gathering and specification. After that, we'll be having the system design. So this is the second phase. As I said before, when this first phase is completely finished, then it will move on to the second phase, okay, which is the system design phase. So now coming to the system design phase, it includes three types, okay. What are those three types? Or architecture. So what this architecture, let me tell you, let me take an example, like one module will be having is chat module, right? Inside this will be having many components, and these are the component within a model. So this includes the architecture. When architecture is nothing but the component, and the second one is the high level design. So when high level design is nothing but the module level design. When it comes to chat, only chat. And the number three is detailed design. So when it comes to detailed designs, it is nothing but the internal logics within the modules. What are the logics we'll be having inside the modules? The main goal of the system design is to identify the components, how and how they connect. So this is the main goal of this system design phase, and they'll create a document which is called as SDD. Once they finish this phase, it will move on to the implementation phase. So when it comes to the implementation phase, which we call it as the coding phase, and here the main thing is they'll code whatever the document the STD team gave. They'll code according to that. And what is the main goal of this team is to reduce testing, because they have to create a good quality software or application to reduce the testing and the maintenance effort. And also they have to translate the design into the code. They have to translate whatever the design they gave, they have to just translate into a code. So this is what the implementation will team will do. And the fourth phase is nothing but the testing phase. So here what they'll do is, and here they'll called as developers, and these peoples are called as testers. Whatever and what these people will do is, they'll measure the quality of the software or application whatever which have been built. Like for our example, it's WhatsApp, right? So in WhatsApp, what are the modules are there, they'll check each and every modules whether they are working properly or not. So this is the main task of the work testers, and they'll do automated testing, manual testing, and functional testing. What are the testing? They'll do many types of testing, like unit testing is done to test the different modules and components and all, and integration testing is done when there is an interconnection between these modules. And coming to the acceptance testings, so acceptance testing is nothing but the testing which have been done to other client. So this is what the test acceptance testing. So they'll do many types of testing, and for testing as well we'll be having a cycle like a test plan, test case creation, like that. There is a big process for that alone is there. In testings, what people will do is will detect the errors, bugs, and defects in the applications or whatever in the code, like that. What they'll do is they'll once this phase will finish, the output of this phase is the test report or and error report. And what this test report will include is what are the test cases they have done, and what are the test cases which is successfully finished, and what are the test cases which is failed. And the error report, it contains an error, which modules contains an error, and which components contains an error, and which actions, like when the back button is not working, it is also an error. So this reports are collected in a page, and it is called as the error report. After testing, we'll be having deployment and maintenance. And this deployment and maintenance stage is a simple, like what people will do is they'll deploy the applications or software, whatever it is, they'll deploy it into an environment, like play stores, internet, and so on. They'll deploy it. When it comes to maintenance, what is actually it is how they maintain the applications, and when there are any errors or something which is actually found by people like us, which can be maintained, right? So these are the things which should be maintained. And that's it about waterfall model. And the main characteristics of this waterfall model is once phase is finished, they'll give some output to the next phase, and this phase will have to use that output, and they will have to wait for that. Now coming to the next topic, which is when we use this waterfall model. And the number one answer is when our requirement is constant and we gathered every requirement. So once when your requirement is constant and you gathered every requirement from the client, then you can use waterfall model, because in other models we can get the requirement from any time from the client. And the number two is when the project is short. When coming to the WhatsApp application, which is a big applications, right? When we compare like tutorials applications or all, it is a small application. So this applications we can use and waterfall model when your project or software is short. And number three, long duration. When you have a long time, you can use this waterfall model, because it will take some time to complete each phases. So we can use waterfall models when you have long time. So this is the fourth time you can use a waterfall model when your tools and technologies is constant and your idea is constant, you have to do this is my plan, then you can use a waterfall model. But if any confusions, at that time you have to use other models like agile and all. And let me explain you the advantages and disadvantages of this waterfall model. And yeah, coming to the advantages, it will be having many advantages because it is simple to implement. It is a very simple method to implement. There is no confusions. When one stage complete, it will give some result to the second phase. So there is no it's very easy and simple to implement. And fixed requirements, our requirements is fixed, so it will never change, and it will it is a stable thing. So when our requirement is fixed, then we'll definitely get into the project. So this is second advantage of the waterfall model. And coming to the third advantage, the release date and everything, release date and cost is everything is planned in prior. So there is no confusion in that. Cost is determined. Each phase completed before the next stage starts. Right? Complete before next phase. So this is the fourth advantage. And coming to the disadvantages, it is having a plenty of disadvantages comparing to advantages. And the first disadvantages here is it is a big bang approach. Let me explain you why I'm telling is approach. So why it is a big bang approach is because when I complete this, it will move on to the next phase. Okay, when I complete this, it will move on to the next phase. But when I found an error in the first phase, this is that is in the requirement gathering phase, what I'll do is this stage, what this stage will developers will do is they'll send back the error or something to the system design team, and what they'll do is they'll check verify and validate everything, and once they found that error or the debugging is not in their side, what they'll do is they'll again post there, that is they'll move that uh, error into the first phase, that is the requirement gathering phase. So this is the time consuming approach, right? So this is a big thing. So that's what we call it as a big bang approach. Model cannot accept the changes, can't accept changes. So this is the second thing. Yeah, it will never accept and change because everything is fixed, and when an accept when an change is caused, every team have to work from the first. So this is a big failure of this model. And coming to the third, late testing. Once we complete all this, we'll be having testers. So this is something called as late testing phase. And number four is document driven approach. Everything is document driven. So when it comes to document driven, they won't know whether it is what it is. Whatever they understand from the document, they'll do that. Whatever, something, some words have two meaning, and they won't understand those meanings, and they'll do whatever meaning they actually understand from that. So this is the main feature, main disadvantage that waterfall model is having. The fifth major thing is the client attraction. That is the client point of view, or like a client feedback. So there is no time to get clients feedbacks in those stages. Whenever an fail, or like the client will say something, and the people called a business analyst will understand that in some way, some other way. So whatever they are creating in all those phases, the client feedbacks is not there, because the client will not never get an attraction with this in the testing phase. In acceptance testings only, client is attracting like a client is giving feedback. So when like think that you ask for some other feature and they did some other feature, so in that case it will be a waste of time and waste of money and waste of software also. So it's a many so it contains many disadvantages, and these are the five major disadvantages in the waterfall model. And hope you understand this.